like to introduce our keynote speaker from Eastern Washington University, Joshua Neal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Josh, oh yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. My name is Joshua Neal. I'm in my 4th year at Eastern Washington University, where I'm pursuing a Bachelor's of Arts degree in social work. I'm currently a mentor on one of our living learning communities. We'll wait till that gets up there.
Good job, Josh.
How's everybody doing? Good. Usually people just say good or doing well. They don't go, woo! Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so I'm currently a mentor on one of our living learning communities. I'm the president of the Residence Hall Association and a student member on the Eastern Washington University Board of Trustees, plus a couple of other things. Next slide, please. Before I get started, I want to let you know that I'm going to be using the stereotypical male archetype of Prince Charming. I'll be using the qualities of Prince Charming as a courageous and inspiring figure, not the fact that this character is stereotypically male. I see no reason why Prince Charming can't be a strong female, or why the damsel in distress can't be an unsure male, or even why a princess should not be able to express their gender in a way that is purely their own. So with that, next slide please. I'm going to be talking to you all about inspiration, specifically being aware of what inspires us and how we can better inspire others. Next. Who here knows what TED Talks are? For those of you that don't know, the mission of TED is to spread ideas. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. Each year there are multiple TED conferences where innovators from around the world converge to share their inspiring and revolutionary ideas. I love TED Talks. I have a bunch of them saved in my Netflix queue. I find them to be incredibly inspiring. Each person has a different story to share about how they are changing the world. Next. The other day, I was watching a TED Talk by Jessica Jackley. She is the co-founder of Kiva.org, an online organization that helps individuals loan money, small amounts of money called microloans, to entrepreneurs around the world. In her talk, she said something that resonated in me. She said, the best way to be inspired is to stop and listen to someone's story. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about my own story. Next. I'm going to give you some facts about myself. I'm originally from rural Whidbey Island, where that star is. Located in western Washington, just north of Seattle. Next. I come from a large family. I have my parents and 4 younger siblings. Next. I received the rank Eagle in the Boy Scouts of America. My favorite color is bright green. I'm a photographer. This is the camera that I have. And I love sci-fi TV shows and movies. I love to travel. I originally started at Eastern Washington University as a double major in education and athletic training. I then switched to Spanish and secondary education, and then, like any good college student, I changed my major a second time. I'm now studying social work. And as the last fact, I'm gay. There are a couple of things on this list that I want to focus on. First, my sexuality, then my field of study. What it boils down to is my self-awareness. When I was younger, in high school and earlier, I never thought about my sexual orientation. I mean, I found guys attractive, but I never associated myself with being gay. Then I moved to college, all the way on the other side of Washington. I lived and worked in the Cheney Fire Department my first year. If you don't know, Eastern Washington is much more conservative than the West Side. And the other people at the fire department were no exception to this. During my first year, I really began to struggle internally. I began to question who I was. My identity as a Catholic was one of the things that both helped and hindered me in my self-discovery. I would pray day in and day out, trying to get the thoughts of other guys out of my head, trying to change into something that I'm not. So spring quarter of my first year, I started to reassess things. I was eventually able to come to the conclusion that this is something that's part of my life, and that's okay. As I said before, I changed my major twice. Why do college students change their field of study? College is a time of self-discovery. It is a time when we can experience things for ourselves without as much parental influence. So what do changing majors and sexuality have in common? They both require us to be self-aware. We need to realize that perspective and awareness of perspective is essential for personal growth. I'd like to show a quick clip of something I did and that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
Where you go? Right in the center there, right? Not right here, Dave? Yeah. You do
I want to tell you a little bit about what this was like. It wasn't as painful as you would think. I didn't scream because of the pain. I didn't actually think I would scream. It was kind of just came out. Every little part of my body was contracting. It was a total out-of-body experience. In the 5-second, 50,000-volt ride, I could feel every muscle in my body tense. I was aware of each and every one, all at the same time. It was an incredible experience. There's something that I learned from this experience, and no, it wasn't that I shouldn't volunteer to get tased. I was able to gain a different perspective because of the fact that it was an out-of-body experience. I was able to observe my own self, from the outside looking in, not the inside looking out. I think it is essential to remember that sometimes we need to take a step back and look at things from a different perspective. I did this when considering a new major and when I was questioning my sexuality. Over the summer I did some reading. I read a book called Leadership on the Line. One of the sections of this book focuses on perspective. The authors talk about the balcony approach. Next, please. Sometimes we need to get onto the balcony and get a bird's eye view of the situation. We are able to take our experience from the ground level and then incorporate it with the new perspective from the balcony. It is important that we take a step back so we don't get tunnel vision. This looks like a nice house, right? It is important that we have passion and focus for the task at hand, but sometimes we need to consider more than just that task. We need to look at the big picture, because there could be a greater need. What do you think of the house now? A tool that I have found that works really well is called the Golden Circle. The Golden Circle was created by another TEDster named Simon Sinek. He used principles he learned from business to discover that we need to examine our values and beliefs in order to become a more productive and inspiring person. It is comprised of 3 circles. The first is the what, the second, how, and the third, why. For this is a model for both self and organizational awareness. It allows us to take a step back, to get up on the balcony, and reassesses what we are doing, how we are doing it, and most importantly, why we are doing it. So there are 2 approaches to the Golden Circle. We can go from the outside in, starting with the what, and then going towards the why. Or we can start with the why, and ending with the what. I'm going to use my RHA as an example. So what does RHA do? We are the governing body of the residence halls on campus. We advocate for our residents, and we provide an environment for our residents to live in. So the next step is to look at the how. We do what we do. So we put on programs for our residents, we provide funding for those programs, and we are a liaison between residents and our university. So why do we do this? Why do we need to make an effort? Why do we get up in the morning? We believe in a place where residents can not only live, but where they can thrive. Our university has a motto, start something big. We strive to be the start of something big every day. We value giving residents the opportunity to be something bigger than themselves, something that will launch them into the future filled with success, however they define it. We challenge our residents to start their own something big, to write their own fairy tale. So if we use the traditional model of the what going to the why, it would go something like this. Hey, you should go to RHA. We're the governing body for the residence halls. We're your voice for the university. We put on a bunch of great programs and have a lot of fun. You should come to RHA. Now, what do we think of this? What are some of the responses we will generally get? We'll get, maybe I'll go, I'm not sure, I'm really busy. You're most likely not going to intrigue many people if you go about your recruiting like this. So let's take a different approach. Hey, do you have a couple of minutes? When you're living on campus, do you want a place to just live, or do you want a place where you can thrive? Do you want a place where your opinions are valued and your voice is heard? Who you are is what makes the community what it is. And we want to make this community a place where you can have fun and where you can be launched into the future. We have this giant program coming up called Battle of the Buildings. You can be competitive and represent your hall in this epic competition. We want to see you there. So if we look at these two methods, which one is going to work better? Which one is going to inspire more? Who thinks the first one? And the second? If we focus on the values and valuing each of our residents as individuals, we are more likely to get others to become involved. Simon Sinek said the following: people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If we focus on the core of the golden circle, if we focus on the why, we will inspire. We can also use this in our own personal lives. If we examine our own personal golden circle, we will become more inspired to be a contributor. We will be more inspired to get up and start something big. So where does this leave us for the future? Next, please. Who here wants their own fairy tale? Who here wants Prince Charming to swoop in and save the day? We often want our own lives to be a fairy tale, with Prince Charming coming in to save the day. What we don't always realize is that we are someone's Prince Charming. So listen to the story of others. And I don't just mean hear what they are saying. I mean truly listen to them. Be present in their story. Go be someone's inspiration, and I think you will find that you'll become more inspired by someone's story. By knowing your purpose, by knowing your why, you can be Prince Charming. I had a teacher in high school who would tell us about his little old grandma. That's not her, by the way. She would always tell him that if you aim at nothing, you will surely hit it. So I challenge you all to aim high, to start something big. Next, please. And go out and be Prince Charming.